Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is January the 4th, 2019. Strong hand, long-term thinking, unconfiscatable. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Conviction. And you better believe I've got some conviction. We were supposed to have 3 guests on today. I guess 2 of them are hungover from partying so much because it was yesterday. It was a 10-year anniversary of Bitcoin. But we got Maximo here. Oh, yeah. You know Maximo. You guys want the Venezuela report from a guy who's in Venezuela usually. He's actually outside of it right this second. But he's going to tell us what's going on there and his thoughts about 2019. Maybe Murad will show up. We don't know where he is. He must have been partying like a rock star last night. No doubt about it. This early time has a lot of people off kilter. But thank you, Maximo, for being on the show today.
My pleasure, man.
All right, so let's start it off with a very general question here. What's the story in Venezuela since the last time we spoke?
Well, actually, things have been pretty quiet in there, political talking. But in terms of BTC, we have just experienced more adoption. You see the local Bitcoin's volume growing. Like you all guys know, I have a business that helps companies get rid of the bolivars and get Bitcoins instead, and then they can exchange those Bitcoin to dollars or any currency they want. And every month we're getting more and more customers, and it's great, man. It's great. And actually, something that you and I talked in one of your shows, like you said that the petro was going to be good because it will allow people to get to know Bitcoin, because they hear about the petro, this cryptocurrency that the government is creating, and it actually happened. Yeah, a lot of people got into Bitcoin because of the petro. So that's something good, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. See, that is good. You can take it. A lot of people like to rip on the negatives in life and say, "Oh, this is good." But sometimes you can find a bright side to something that might appear negative, and that is great. That people. So you hear more and more regular people talking about Bitcoin on the streets, or just you think more people are aware of cryptocurrency now in general?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know, man. Maybe I would say like 60 or 70% of the people in Venezuela already know about crypto. That they already know, and the petro have to do a lot with that. Seriously.
Okay. But how about this? Is the petro real yet?
No, like the blockchain, it's weird. Okay, so last month the government gave the pension people that they paid the pension people in bolivars, and like a week after they took off the bolivars again and put petro in their Patria platform, something that the government's managed. No, but the petro is not a blockchain yet, so they handle like another kind of bolivar in their platforms. It's kind of weird, so you don't have a petro wallet. You have to use the Patria platform in order to use the petro, and you can exchange the petro that the government gave to you into bolivars, but it's a really, really tricky process. So after the government did what they did with the pensions, a lot of people were charging old men and old ladies in order for them to change the petros into bolivars again, because it was really a complicated process. But no, it's not yet a cryptocurrency. It doesn't have a blockchain yet.
Well, this is the hilarious thing. So it's not real yet, but it's basically been a way.
Well,
It's free marketing for Bitcoin. It
it's
got
legal as Ripple, man. It's a centralized kind of token.
well, whatever it is or what it will be. It seems like the biggest thing that it's done is get people aware of Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
been a Venezuelan government sponsored program that is marketing Bitcoin. Yet they didn't know that would be the result. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I mean, it's terrible. Obviously, what's going on in terms of the hyperinflation and this nonsense with the petro. But again, if it's gotten people into Bitcoin. I hope more and more people wake up. I like jump back when you say 60% of the people in the country know about cryptocurrency, but one of the big reasons is because your government is saying you're going to have something called the petro, and I guess people are like, well, what the heck is this thing? I better learn about this crypto, and then they stumble upon Bitcoin.
Yeah. When I said that 60% of the people know, it's that at least they have heard about it. Not that they have put money into it or they are building something into it or they are saving in Bitcoins, but at least I think at least 60% of the people have heard about Bitcoin, at least in Venezuela.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's the first step. You got to hear about it first,
Yeah.
and then you somehow get it. Then you put it on your Trezor. Then you pound that like button, people. If you love hearing the inside information of what's going on in Venezuela. Okay, so we got our petro update. We got our Bitcoin update from Venezuela. Now, one thing I read all sorts of things out there. I forgot where I read this. This was so someone suggested that it's possible that Brazil and Colombia could that they're tired of the refugees coming into their country from Venezuela. Apparently, there's an issue there, and that they might take some type of military action against Venezuela. Is this something you've heard about? Is this some just crazy American asking crazy questions?
There have been a lot of people leaving Venezuela. That's kind of an issue. A lot. I'm talking a lot. Millions of people going to another country. Some of them are going legally. Some of them are going illegal into those countries. So that's a problem, obviously. But no, man, that's not going to happen. No one is going to take military actions against Venezuela. And the first thing you need to know is Venezuela is protected by China and by Russia. Okay, those are communist countries also. So no, Colombia, Brazil, or the US are not going to take the risk to get into a war with China or with Russia by taking Venezuela. So it's not going to happen. If you read about it, well, you know that journalist or maybe that newspaper are not trustworthy. So no, it's speculation, and people take advantage of that, of the fact that there is not a really trust source of information of what is happening in Venezuela. So a lot of people write about it, and they haven't even been here, and so don't trust everything you read on the internet.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just war crazy, and they want when's the next war going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, everyone wants some. And again, what's going on in Venezuela is horrible on its own. Hyperinflation. That's not a good thing. Why do you want even worse people? No. So I thought that was kind of crazy too. It's like, does Brazil even have a legitimate army to? I mean, is it bothering them that much? They would feel the need to invade another country.
No, that's the last thing we need, man. Another military force in our country. It's enough with the Venezuelan military force. We don't need the U.S. or the Colombians or the Brazilians military forces. That's just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, I that would be some escalation there. So it's personal responsibility. It's the people of Venezuela are going to have to sort this thing out. It's better to sort it out yourself than have like Brazil invade you. I mean, that sounded pretty wild to me. But we do have some. Again, we're here to clarify, and I've got a guy, a Venezuelan on. I better ask him these. I better ask him
something about the people living in Venezuela. That's another use for Bitcoin. before Bitcoin, if you didn't have a bank account overseas and you wanted to leave Venezuela, you need to buy cash in the black market. Right now, not a lot of people, but some people are using Bitcoin. Yeah, they're buying Bitcoin, they're leaving Venezuela, and they're going to another country, maybe Argentina or something like that, Colombia, Brazil, any other country, and they're transporting their wealth in Bitcoin. So when they get to the other country, they can sell those Bitcoins in local Bitcoin for cash, and they can make a living.
Hey, there's a use case right there, and that's a good tie into something that I wanted to say. A good segue into. So last night, yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of Bitcoin, and here in Tel Aviv, the party was tremendous. There were women, men, all sorts of people. I was shocked at the amount of women that were there. People on the periphery of Bitcoin who wanted to learn about Bitcoin, technology people. Like, you got this vibe, like all these people are going to get into Bitcoin eventually. It was very positive. But the thing is that and this is the same that's true in America, I would say, or in a lot of countries. They don't need Bitcoin yet. I don't need Bitcoin necessarily. I mean, I'm not going to starve if I don't have Bitcoin. I mean, we have first world problems here in the U.S. or maybe Israel. You know, a credit card company doesn't like your politics, so you can't use the credit card company anymore, and that's a serious thing. But I mean, you can still have a job and you can still make money. Where you are, you guys need Bitcoin, and this is it. Just at this 10-year mark of Bitcoin, we're at a very interesting point where there are already countries, people in countries that need it now. But then we have countries where there are a lot of people who are very interested in it, building things around it. We don't need it yet necessarily at the same desperation level that at least in a country like Zimbabwe, for instance, or Venezuela, or any place that had experienced hyperinflation or the government doesn't allow you to take money out. So I don't know. What do you have on this 10-year anniversary? What are your overall thoughts about Bitcoin, its future, and its recent past?
Well, you are absolutely right, and we have talked about it in your show. I got into Bitcoin because I needed Bitcoin in my life. Actually, if Satoshi didn't create Bitcoin, I don't know where I would be right now. I'm able to travel because of Bitcoin. I'm able to have financial freedom because of Bitcoin. And a lot of people in Venezuela are using Bitcoin. Most of my customers they don't even know how Bitcoin works. They just know that it works. It is a tool that they can use to avoid hyperinflation. And yeah, like in countries like the US and first world countries, that's true that you don't need Bitcoin right now. Like today, you can live without it. You can have a great life without Bitcoin. But there will be some point in the future that you will need it. And if you got in before that, well, you are safe. And also in countries like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, hyperinflated countries, communist countries did into communism and socialism. For example, Venezuela is like 10 years or 20 years behind on technology development. Our internet, the internet that the 80% of the people use, the maximum speed you can get is like 2 megabytes. That's bad, man. That's really bad. We are really behind technology development. So it's great that people in the first world country realize that this technology can help us. And you're building the technology that we're going to use, because in our country, it's not easy to build anything on top of Bitcoin or any companies. First, because of fear of what the government can do to you. And second, because we don't have the technology to develop something great. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're the people using it because we need it, and you're the people building the technology in case you need it in the future.
Oh, I like that. Speaking about building, any thoughts on the Lightning Network and its future? Seems like a lot of people are saying 2019 is going to be a big year for it.
Well, I think it's gonna be a big year. I don't see like big adoption in 2019 to Lightning Network, but there is like I was just watching a video about a cipher node, something that Pierre is developing in his new company, Bull Bitcoin. There is a software that is going to allow you to deploy a full node and a full Lightning node without having to write yourself the source code. And that's great. That's great because not a lot of people have programming experience. And for someone, I wasn't in technology before Bitcoin. So when the first time I wrote my node, I ran into a lot of trouble because I didn't have any programming experience. And a lot of friends of mine that wanted to run a node, I went to their homes, teach them how to do it, and it's not that easy, you know. So with this new software and this new development, it's becoming easier and easier for you to have your own node, to have your own Lightning node, to use Lightning Network. I have a lot of hopes in Lightning because it's going to help Bitcoin scales into proportion that we would never imagine.
One thing about one thing there, you said Bull Bitcoin. It's that I think it's Francis that's doing that. Francis is doing Bull Bitcoin. You said they're they got the French sounding names.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a Francis. I thought that was great. Have a Lightning node. People can set that they're not technologically skilled. That's the next level here. Is making some of these complex aspects of Bitcoin easier for average people to use, for non-tech people to use. Which again, so you're running a Lightning node in Venezuela, though. Is that even something that people are small little transaction? Is that helping Lightning Network, or is it more so?
No. People. In Venezuela, we don't have any commerce adoption. Actually, we're working on that. Me and my partners were working on helping newcomers accept Bitcoin because with the hyperinflation, it's getting really difficult to, for example, if really difficult to buy like a refrigerator in Venezuela because the debit cards and the credit cards have limits, like really bad limits. So you can just make like a small purchases. But if you want to buy something like, I don't know, that's it's worth some money, you have to do a wire transfer, and maybe you have to do 3 or 4 wire transfers. So maybe for those type of commerce, it's really useful to accept Bitcoin. And a lot of people in Venezuela have Bitcoin, but the problem is that we don't have any technology yet. So we're working on that to deploy that. But I don't see any Lightning adoption coming to Venezuela yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet.
You know what? I just thought of something to ask you, and we're talking about small transactions. What's up with Dash in Venezuela? Because that's again the Dash heads, and I've had a Dash person on here before. Very good. George is a great Dash dude. He's in Colombia though. But one of the things they always say is, that Dash adoption is tremendous in, and we've talked about this, is tremendous in Venezuela. What are seriously? Give me your Dash thoughts in Venezuela overall. What's the latest with Dash? Are they still doing their events? I mean, again, they have a tremendous marketing team. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, let me first silence my notification in Twitter because I'm gonna have some trolls writing to me. Okay, Dash, man, it's the same. No one is. I have talked a lot to the Dash people, and they're talking about this adoption. Yeah, they have talked a lot of commerce into accepting Dash. That's not adoption. Adoption is when your customer are using Dash to buy your product. Adoption is not you putting a QR code in your web page. That's not adoption. That's to the Dash people, to Roger Ver, and to all that to all those I don't know, micro, mini, ultra micro transaction fans. That's not adoption. A guy with a web page and a QR code in the web page, that's not adoption. Adoption is when I, Adam, and another guys use Dash or Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin to purchase a good, to purchase a service. That's adoption. That's not happening in Venezuela. Not either with Dash, not either with Bitcoin. There is no merchant adoption in Venezuela for any cryptocurrency. Okay? Their adoption in Venezuela is to use a cryptocurrency as a tool to avoid hyperinflation. And that the only cryptocurrency that is being currently used for that is Bitcoin. No other. No other cryptocurrency. So yeah, Dash is going to send you to the web page like there's 10,000 millions of merchants in Venezuela accepting Dash. The this commerce and the other commerce, and look, man, show me the transactions. Show me people purchasing good with Dash. Show me that. Show me that adoption, and then we talk. That's the truth.
That was a great line. That was just like the Tom Cruise line, show me the money, show me the adoption. Yeah. Pound that like button, people. Show me the adoption. But I will say this about Dash. Because again, I am a marketing guy. They care about brand awareness, no doubt about it. And so one would think that with all this marketing in South America, that the brand, people know about it now. I would hope they know about it now. Again, they know, you said they know about Bitcoin. Honestly, do you think people do know about Dash second to Bitcoin or second to the Petro or third to the Petro?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Something, it's because of the Dash marketing, and also because there was a point when Bitmain, for the people who don't know, Venezuela is a big mining, I don't know, it's like, picture Venezuela like a big warehouse of mining equipment, right? A lot of people here in Venezuela are mining because we have free electricity. So basically, you don't have production cost. So it always will be profitable to mine. So when Bitmain, they created the five, I don't remember the name of the Dash miner, but it was making like $2K or $3K dollars per month. So it was really profitable, and a lot of people in Venezuela went crazy buying that machine, and Dash got some popularity because of that. Most of those guys lose all the money because that the same machine that that was mining like $3,000 per month is mining like 15 right now, $30 per month. But yeah, it's mostly because of the mining, and yeah, they have a lot of marketing team in here, and people really know about Dash. But again, they are not using it because man, it's just stupid, like to use Dash for small transactions when you have the bolivars. You understand? Like, why would you use Dash? Because even that Dash is a crappy coin, is going to hold more value than your bolivars. So why would you spend that Dash? Seriously.
Why? So why would you would use the Dash as a store of value? You're saying?
Yeah, anything, man. Like cans of tuna, milk, bicycles, televisions, anything you can use as a store of value in Venezuela because it stores more value than the bolivar. Anything, I'm talking anything, like even, I don't know, rocks, something like that, man. The Venezuelan currency is as bad as you can get. There was a tweet like the inflation on the countries, and Venezuela clearly is the first one, and it's like 20,000%. 20,000% in last years, and the number two country was Argentina with 34. So that shows you like how bad is our currency.
I wanted to say, and at one point, Dash actually was giving away free Dash, weren't they? If you came to the meetings,
And no, no, no.
they
I
weren't.
came to one meeting and they kicked me out. Uh, yeah.
I
But
thought they
yeah,
had.
they would give like $5, $10 worth of Dash, and that's for people who earn minimum wage here in Venezuela. That's a lot of money, like a lot
Yeah,
of money.
yeah. So I thought that would make people happy. By the way, you're talking about people. Yes, they value their wealth in tuna. I mean, or like I had mentioned before, in some I think it was Andrea Santonopoulos said back in the day in Greece, people would buy two washing machines, one to use and one to like as a store of value because
Yeah,
and do you know of anything like that? Anybody having double appliances, two appliances, one to just sell
yeah, yeah.
later?
The people who do not have like an account overseas in another country, the people who do not use Bitcoin and they don't want to buy dollars in the street because they can sell them like dollars. They buy televisions, they buy washing machines, they buy refrigerators, they buy bicycles, anything that they can buy for a discount with extra bolivars, they buy it. Food, man, food is a market here in Venezuela. Seriously, a lot of people go to the supermarket to buy. The government regulate prices here, So it's when you go to the supermarket, it's hard to find a lot of stuff because they run out really fast because the government forced the supermarkets to sell them at a ridiculous price, ridiculous cheap price. So people go to the supermarkets and buy as much as they can, so that after that they can sell it to the people who do not want to make the queue to or the line to buy that product. Yeah, actually, man, this country is crazy. Is if you're an economist who like to investigate and do research on crazy economics and crazy theories, you have to go to Venezuela and watch it yourself.
It's a case study in crazy economies. Now, I had someone ask me, I forgot if this was in person or over the internet. They're like, Adam, what if the Bolivar is inflating so horribly? How do they logistically, physically, when they go to buy something at the store, what do they have with them? Do they have a wad of Bolivars? Do they have a credit card?
No, credit cards and debit cards. No one is
Okay.
using cash.
Okay.
There is no way you can use cash.
Because you would need a
Yeah,
wheelbarrow of cash.
back
Okay.
full of cash. We use cash for two things. One, to pay for gasoline, which is ridiculously cheap in here, and two, to pay for parking lots. That's
Wait, what was the second thing? What was the second thing?
parking lots. Parking lots.
Parking lot. Oh, parking lots. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it all centers around the car there. By the way, how long are they going to be able to keep gas at that obviously subsidized rate? I know it's like the cheapest gas in the world.
Look, it's the same with electricity and water and natural gas. I don't know, man. It's part of this socialist politics of the government. The government give you things for free, so you have to depend on them. So I think as long as the same government is still in charge of Venezuela, we will have free electricity, free water, free natural gas, free oil, free every all the things that the governments produce you're going to get it for free. But on the other side, you're getting hyperinflation, people are getting to jail. Well, they go hand by hand.
Talking about, let's go back to mining again. And we talked about, I know Gabriel brought this up a long time ago, and I want to see if it's still true. Are people still mining altcoins there also just to turn into Bitcoin?
Well, if you have like the mining rig, yeah, you're mining because you don't pay electricity. But right now, there's no one. I'm talking no one. Seriously, I'm no one buying mining rigs right now because they're too expensive. A mining rig costs like $2,000 and it produces like $50 per month, so it's not profitable. Not even in here if you buy it new. But yeah, people who bought it like a year ago, yeah, they're still mining altcoins. I am mining altcoins. I have mining rigs, so
It's you don't hold your altcoins, do you? I mean, you value your
No,
wealth in Bitcoin.
no, for a segment.
Well, since you see, this is the great thing about having Maximo on the show. He has got this unique information set because he's on the ground in Venezuela, but at the same time, he is part of the greater, larger, worldwide Bitcoin community. So I can ask him a question like this question I'm going to ask him. This proof of keys thing. People were. I was at a party last night. I slept in. I was up very late, so then I ran today. So I don't even know. How did the proof of keys go? What happened? Did you hear about how hit BTC was? It wasn't letting people do withdrawals. I thought it was a great idea, proof of keys, for people to take their money, to take it off the exchange. I don't think that many people did it though, but maybe next year people will.
Yeah. It was the first time. Actually, I was checking the mempool before we got on live on the show. We got some transactions, but you also have to realize something: that people who were promoting proof of keys, they own their bitcoins, they own their private keys. I didn't participate because I don't have any Bitcoin on exchanges. I just have it all on my Trezor, so I didn't make any transaction. But I think it's a great idea. I think we should do it year after year, and maybe in 3 years it will be big as hell. Like a lot of people get into the tradition of the proof of keys and withdrawing their bitcoins from their exchange. About the hit BTC story, man, if you're using hit BTC you didn't get your bitcoins or any other crypto, you deserve it. You deserve it. Man, everyone warned you about not using that exchange because man, come on. Read the news. Listen to the people. They have scammed a lot of people already. So why do you hold bitcoins in that exchange? Seriously, man. Well, you deserve it. If someone got scammed by hit BTC, you deserve it. You earned that.
Personal responsibility is the new counterculture, people. But seriously, since I don't play with any of these exchanges, I know I hear hit BTC. I'm like, it's not the same as the other ones, other big name ones. But I guess it can be worse. The thing for me is don't keep it on any exchanges, people. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The people promoting this, and I was one of the people promoting this event, proof of keys. We don't have our Bitcoin on exchanges, so there wasn't that much time between the time that Trace came up with the idea and the actual day. But let's keep it going. Let's keep on educating people to do this, because it is all about the newbies and the medium term. The people who have been in it for a year that think Coinbase is a bank for me, to say no, it isn't a bank for you. You got to get into this new habit of controlling your private keys. So I wish
if Coinbase is your bank, you are just here to get rich.
Well, that's a lot of people, and a lot of people will say, yes, I am just here to get rich.
You're using Coinbase as your bank. You are here to get rich, and you deserve to lose 80% of your value. That's right, man. If you're here for the money, you deserve to lose. If you're here for the money, I'm glad you bought Bitcoin 20K, and right now it's at 3K.
Well, it's even worse if you're talking about Coinbase. These people turn their instead of buying Bitcoin, they bought 0x or something like that. No, I mean this is a serious thing. This is serious, and that's why we got to get this word out, and that's why I like what Trace is doing. And that's
coins.
What'd you say?
The bullpack. No. What's the name that you buy $100 and $20 in each coin?
It's I forgot the package. The package. Yeah. It's the what do they call it? The bumble. Not bumble. The bundle. Your bundle. Bumble. I'm saying.
Man, that's a bad idea.
Well, no, but again, a lot of people they're like, oh, you got to diversify for the sake of diversification. Diversify for the sake of diversification. All right, let's see. We got. I'll just see if anybody in the chat here has questions, because this is rare that we have you and I have a one-on-one discussion like this. I like this. This is This is a good time, people. Pound that like button for news from Venezuela, but news from all over the world also. Well, what do you see as some big? I mean, it's the first show of the year, so What do you see in 2019 as some big stories popping up?
Well, actually, something that I was surprised last year about the difficulty rise, even that the price was dropping. I didn't expect that, seriously. And I'm a miner. I was expecting the difficulty to drop as long as the price was going down. But from January to like September, the difficulty was rise as hell. It went up crazy, and the price was not rising, and a lot of people were buying Bitmain equipment. So for one time, I thought like, man, there is no way anyone is going to be a competition for Bitmain. These guys are just too big. But lucky for us, Jihan made some really bad move with Bitmain's money, and they got a lot of Bitcoin Cash, and they lose a lot of money. And right now, the dominance from Ampool and BTC.com in terms of hash rate has dropped to 28%, and they were like some like I don't know, at the beginning of the year they were like 40% of the hash rate of the network, and that was not good. That was not good at all. But one thing that this beer market has brought to us is like Bitmain has lost a lot of market, has lost a lot of power, and that's good. The other thing we need right now is some other mining manufacturer. I don't know, like maybe Watts Miner or Canon to step up and start selling miners at a really competitive price, so people can start buying other type of miners, not Bitmains, and we can have a really decentralized mining industry. That's
Okay, what
that's what I think is going to happen in 2019.
so what do you think Bitmain will survive, or will they flourish? Will they
No,
die?
no, they will survive. They're going nowhere. They're going to stay in here, and we're going to have to accept that. But they're not going to monopolize the mining industry, and that's good. We need competition, man.
Exactly. That is this is true. Now, we might have some guests joining us in a brief second. I've been working some behind the scenes channels. Yeah, the thing with Bitmain, I think there's a lot of bias because they were involved with Bcash. A lot of people want them to die, so there's been like there's been some dire predictions for them. Oh, look who is here. Look who has joined us. Murad is in the house. Oh yeah. No doubt he was partying so hard yesterday that he overslept or whatever. It doesn't matter, baby. Murad, welcome to the show.
Hey Adam, nice to see you again. How are you?
Great. Did you party yesterday? Were there any celebrations?
There were some actually, yes.
Excellent. I think you're ready for the show. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything like that. We got Maximo here from Venezuela. We've been talking a lot of Venezuela and the difference between how they need it in Venezuela right now. They need Bitcoin. While in the United States and some Western countries, it's not a necessary product at this moment. I mean, we can survive fine without Bitcoin, as opposed to Venezuela, where they need to eat, and how can they leave the country, and et cetera, et cetera. Do you see a point where Americans are going to need it?
I think that point is definitely going to arrive, but it will probably come later than people think. In the very, very long run, I anticipate something like Thayer's Law to come into play, where essentially people start hoarding cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, and instead they start spending fiat. And so when cryptocurrencies are going to be more similar to actual cash in their stability and liquidity, I think people will be holding both, for example, Bitcoin and government currencies at the same time. But if that allocation is 95% fiat and 5% cryptocurrencies today for some of us, then I think that balance will be moving more and more towards cryptocurrency's favor.
Excellent. Hey, I've got a question about holding cryptocurrency. Yesterday was the big proof of keys experiment. Did it make a difference at all?
I think that was a very valuable exercise because I don't know what exactly it will result in, but there have been a lot of rumblings about withdrawal delays at HIT BTC and a couple of other exchanges. We definitely want to do everything in our power to prevent like fractional reserve banking or anything of that nature occurring. So I can only hope that our reliance on centralized entities will diminish as years go by.
And so you suspect that there are exchanges out there practicing some fractional reserve.
I think with some of the things that we have seen in this industry, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that came up.
Yeah, I do long for the day when the call to hold, when the call to control your own private keys is actually listened to, and it does expose an exchange. At this time, though, and I praise the movement. I praise the proof of keys movement. We need more time, more publicity for the next one, for the next January 3rd. Maybe next January 3rd, it will cause an exchange to go down. But we need, because there's so many people that are just totally comfortable with treating these exchanges as their banks. And it's going to take it's going to take a grassroots marketing campaign by people like us on Twitter and beyond, a social media campaign to wake people up, because from what I see right now, still people are not putting this on Trezors or on any sort of hardware wallet. Do you see a point when people are going to learn a lesson, or is there going to be a major hack again one day? Is that how people are going to learn? Murad, you there?
He freeze.
Oh, he froze. Oh, all right. He'll be back. He will return. We got Murad here. That was step one. That was just step one. All right. And we're also working on a third guest here. You guys are seeing this show come together, dude. We started a little late, so we'll go a little late also. No, okay, Maximo. Oh, there we go. Oh, look, oh my God, look who has joined us. Look who this is. Let me tell you something. Where he is in Denver, it is only 7 a.m. right now. So this is hardcore. So okay, Adam didn't show up today. Adam's in Israel, the other Adam. But look, we got a guy in Colorado. Andy Hoffman, what is going on?
Hey there. Yeah, actually, this was good because the time of day, I don't even need to get my lights going. I can just get right on. In a second, it'll get too bright. So.
All right. So we're talking proof of keys. Was it a success in your mind? Are people waking up?
Well, again, I haven't focused so much on that, Lily. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I kind of doubt that in this environment, too many people are doing much of anything right now except staring like, deer in headlights. But we've been saying all along that the only way to own Bitcoin is by holding your private keys, and that's going to be the future of monetary ownership, period. And the more time that passes, the more people that will realize this.
Excellent. All right, welcome to the show, Andy. I'm going to get you into the loop here in a second. Murad, you have become a legend since the first time you were on my show, which is awesome, man. You're doing some good stuff with the numbers and everything. What do you expect for this year, for 2019? Is it going to be a down year for Bitcoin? Oh God, Murad has frozen again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so tempting. Like we're about to hear this Murad news, and then bam. Okay, what do we have here?
Is Murad famous for his predictions?
Oh, there's Murad. There he. Okay,
yes.
Okay, good. We're having some freezing difficulty. You hear us all right, Murad?
Yeah.
All right, cool, dude. All right, you've become legendary in the last few months since you've been on this show. It wasn't because you were on the show. It's because you're a really smart dude making all these predictions, and God, you've got some complicated ways of analyzing these charts. And hey, I'm not a big chart guy. I'm a 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin type of guy. And I know you are just a long-term thinker yourself, but You're in the numbers also. People want to hear what you think is going to happen in 2019. Give us some 2019 predictions.
Well, first of all, I don't think we have bottomed yet. I expect, as of right now, like my prediction.
Oh, that one hurt. Okay, yes, you're back. Good.
So sorry about that.
Yeah, we haven't hit the bottom yet, you said.
So I don't think we have bottomed yet. My predictions are adaptive, but as of right now, I see a bottom somewhere between 1800 and 2400. And I expect it to happen somewhere between late Q1 and late Q2. And I think that the remainder of the year essentially is going to be flat to sideways. And we are going to start an upswing either late 2019 or what's becoming more likely early 2020.
Why? Are we talking about technical analysis or just your hunch?
No, it's tech.
So
I mean, I've never heard of you before, but all of a sudden you're saying that we're going to 1800. Why? Because of charts?
I didn't say 1800 in particular. I think an area between 1800 and 2400. So somewhere in the low 2000s is definitely still on the table. Now, what I like to do is I like to combine technical analysis, but I pay even bigger attention to what we call on-chain analysis. I think Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are unprecedented in the world of finance because these monetary assets have a blockchain essentially below them. And if you plug in your full node and like dissect it and analyze it in depth, then you will essentially be able to see like what's going on in terms of holding periods, transactional usage, and like a lot of other variables. So, for example, I invented something called MVRV ratio. Willy Woo is famous for a lot of his work with NVT signal. There's also NVM. And there's half a dozen to a dozen of these indicators right now. And in my opinion, if you look at all of them, we still have a little bit more to fall.
I've got a logistic question. If it really gets that low, between 1800 and 2400, and I forgot when it would be pretty soon. To me, I think if I saw the price at $2,000. I'm going to load it up, man. I'm going to start buying a lot of it. I mean, there's got to be a lot of other people that think the same way that I do. I don't see how it could stay that low for any long, only like a few days. I mean, when you're mentioning that 1800 there, how long would that last? A second? I mean,
yeah, I agree with you. Whenever I say 1800 to 2400, I mean it's going to go there for like a day or two and quickly bounce back to like the upper 2000s, lower 3000s area. But we need to understand that like when the price is 4,000, we always tell ourselves, oh, if it's going to be 2,000, I'm going to buy all of it. But if the fall is rapid, then the human nature is such that it's very short-termist and it's very local. And if you see like the bids evaporating, like you're likely to kind of pull your bid out as well. But of course, I do think that at those levels, what I call value investors or buyers of last resort, I think they will step in and essentially buy it there.
Yeah, but Murad, there are guys out there that have a number in their head. And if it just all of a sudden magically got that low one day, they would go wild. They'd be like, oh my God, it's so cheap. I'm talking from personal experience here and stuff. I mean, I've got a number in my head that I would be like, holy, whoa, wait, what's going on here, dude? I'm loading up the truck. Yes, Andy.
I'm just curious where Murad has been these past 3 years, you know, when it went from 400 to 20,000 and back down to now. And then all of a sudden now he's famous for his analysis that the price will go down when we're at the end of a bear market. You know, I mean, this is typical technical analysis gurus. You come in, you know, whatever the trend is, you say the trend will continue. Or if you're a master con man like Tone Bays, you say the price is going to fall, but I am a really long-term bull, so it's going to go up. And if it goes up, then I'll claim that I was a winner because I said it was the Bitcoin was king. And if it goes down, I'll say it was because of my technical analysis. I have absolutely zero interest in technical analysis, and I don't believe anyone, certainly none of us knew the price was going to go to 20,000, and none of us knew it would go back to 3.
Well, Andy,
Yes, tell me.
With all due respect,
Never heard of you for 3 years. Now all of a sudden you're saying we're going to 1,800.
with all due respect, while
Yes.
you were telling people to buy up Bitcoin at 6.5K, both Tone Vase and myself were
Yes,
different.
Tone Vase. Yes, you and Tone Vase. But first of all, never heard of you. Okay, heard of Tone Vase. Tone Vase was talking about Bitcoin way back when. And by the way, I was talking about Bitcoin way back when, early 2016, every single day, $400, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. I created the Hoffman line. On the upside, I said when we get there, it's going to go up. I have no idea why it broke down. It's a big disappointment to the world. Okay, it set Bitcoin back significantly psychologically because the institutions are not there now. But it's not because of technical analysis, and it's not because of anything Tone Base said, and certainly nothing but you said, because I have never heard of you until you came in at the bottom feeder telling us that the price is going to crash even lower.
What kind of analysis do you utilize when you tell the world?
What kind of analysis? I don't use.
What kind of analysis?
Fundamental analysis.
What kind of analysis do you utilize?
$400 Bitcoin.
Wait, one at a time.
What kind of analysis do you utilize when you recommend the world to buy worthless shitcoins like Brodium?
Oh, well, what kind of analysis? Let's see. I got it for free, thanks to Adam who told me about it, and everyone who listened to me got it for free. Okay, and now the price is $30. And guess what? If people listen to me because I spent a year doing fundamental analysis on it, just like I did fundamental analysis on Bitcoin when I recommended it at 400 all the way up to $20,000, I realized that there is a real market for this. And I helped a lot of people get in between $3 and $5. And guess what? It's $30 right now, and it's going to start trading on an exchange sometime in the next week. And by the end of this year, it's probably going to be a top 20 coin, if not higher. But you can call it a shit coin since you know absolutely nothing about it, and you're either jealous that you don't have it, or you think that there's some market for Bitcoin maximalism. Adam at least is smart enough to be open-minded about everything and to capitalize on all the things that come his way, like Brodium, without being an idiot Bitcoin maximalist that thinks that there's some kind of market for it. No one cares what anyone has to say in this business. No one cares about blogging. No one cares about anything. They care about results.
Whoa. Well, okay. Let's keep it cool here, people. We're getting some rare heat here on my show. But okay. By the way, Josh Colhout, thank you for the $1.99 in the super chat. 10 down. Time to strengthen up for the next 10. Murad, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I would just encourage Andy to be a little bit more polite when engaging other people that they see for the first time on podcasts.
No, I don't engage in people who pretend that they have some scheme. I've watched TA gurus for 20 years, dude. I'm 48 years old. I've been in financial markets for 3 decades. I was in the gold market for 15 years. It's the same BS here as there. A bunch of young guys who know nothing. They come in when the price is up. They go, oh, look, I'm a TA guru. Look at me telling you about everything's going up. And then when it's going down, they're like, look at me. I'm a genius. I said it's going down. Look at me and Tone Vase. No, I can't stand Tone Vase. But Tone Vase has been around the whole time. He has an established track record. You like me and Tone Vase were saying this. No, you are a zero in this community. I have no interest in what you have to say.
Now, come on, let's be nice here. Everything. Murad is a smart dude, Andy. Here,
I'm sure he's a very smart dude. I'm very impressed.
He's a smart. We should be.
Show me the track record, and then compare it to the track record of people who I do know.
Andy, if you Google my name, you'll understand that I've been involved in Bitcoin and Hong Kong since 2013. So just because you haven't heard my name, you should still show a little bit humility when opening your mouth. I don't need
to show humility. My track record is established, and it certainly has nothing to do with whether the price held at 6,500. It's not a technical analysis.
Your track record is horrible. You told people to load up at 6.5K. That's ridiculous.
My track record is horrible. I got in at the bottom of the gold market. I got in at the bottom of the Bitcoin market. By the way, I did sell my Bitcoin when the Hoffman line broke, and I got in at the bottom of Brodium. Is that a horrible track record? What matters, results or your talk about how you were there telling people to do things? Well, and by the way, I will be
everybody who listened to this fall is down 50% right now.
That listened to me? I'm not giving technical analysis. I'm saying I believe in Bitcoin, just like Adam says he believes in Bitcoin. I'm saying the facts of what is going on with 6,500. I was the only person that was talking about on the way up that it was a big deal, $100 billion market cap, and I was talking about it on the way down. The fact that it didn't hold is a sad thing, but it's not because I made a technical analysis prediction. Look, I can't tell you that. Did you know that Satoshi's vision that Craig Wright would come in and attack, which he did? I don't know. I mean, sometimes the facts of the world change. That was the catalyst that drove the price down.
If you think the price fell because of Craig Wright, then you don't understand this industry at all.
Really, you don't think that had anything to do with it, that the hash rate suddenly plunged at the same time that he attacked it and said, I want to destroy it, and all of a sudden the price of everything fell? It had nothing to do with it.
The price
Nothing
would
to do
fall
with it at all.
with Craig Wright or without Craig Wright.
That's right. Satoshi's vision had absolutely no impact on the fact that the hash rate of the industry fell and the prices crashed at the time that he purposefully created this attack, which worked. It certainly worked. It certainly destroyed sentiment, destroyed prices. It didn't destroy Bitcoin, but it certainly knocked its hash rate down 50%. I mean, did it not? Did hash rate not fall 50% in Bitcoin when he started his attack? I mean, it's a fact. You could say it's not true, but it's true.
Speculators don't really look at the hash rate when making the decision to invest or divest.
Really, I do. I've said long before this attack occurred, go back in August when I was writing about hash rate, you could appeal, oh, it's a lag rate. This is very important. When the world of investors who don't know much about Bitcoin see the hash rate going up, they believe it's getting stronger. When they see it going down, they worry about it. And when someone could come in like Craig Wright and cause that much trouble, who's a nobody? This guy's a complete nobody. I don't even know what Satoshi's vision is, but armed with some billionaire that clearly had some kind of manipulative tools with him, they were able to knock the prices down and at the same time help get the hash rate to fall. A lot of it went to Satoshi's vision. I don't know why, but it did. It's a fact. I don't know why it did. It's not going to last because Satoshi's vision is a complete scam, but it's true. I'll stop talking.
50% of the hash rate went to Bitcoin Cash, ABC, and Satoshi's vision. That's not true, man. You can look at the numbers. I'm a miner. The hash rate went down because the price went down and it's not profitable for the people to mine. And actually, I at some point I believed that 6K was the bottom, but then I look at the hash rate and I saw like, man, this is not organical. Like the hash rate went up from January to August while the price was dropping. So obviously we needed the price to go down to clear. Look, we went to 20K because of greed and people's stupidity, okay? A lot of altcoins were going up with no fundamental reason whatsoever. And something that I really hate about the Bitcoin community is like they value people's intelligence for how much followers or how much traction they get on social media, and that's just as stupid as it can get. Because, dude, I've been in Bitcoin since 2014, and I have 600 followers on Twitter because I don't want to make some popular celebrity myself because I live in a fucking country with hyperinflation and a government that can go to my house, knock my door down, and get me into jail. And that does not mean that I'm smart or stupid because I have 600 followers on Twitter. So the fact that you have not heard of Murad and Murad have not heard of you, man. That's not a point.
I respect everything you're saying. I'm not talking about his number of followers. I have no idea. I'm just saying when people come in at the end, I've seen all this. When the price is up, everyone comes in and says that they're bullish, and when it goes down, they're bearish. And by the way, with the mining, I agree completely. Part of what's going on, of course, is what Francis Pouliot's been talking about. These investments take a long time. When the price is going up, everyone's investing in miners. They put them online, but you can't just stop it overnight. It takes time. Then,
Oh, Andy disappeared there. He muted himself. Ooh, we're having a wild show here today, people. Pound that like button. All of this is very unexpected to me. All right, you can tell. Maximo, do you have predictions for 2019 in terms of what Bitcoin's going to do?
Yeah, I expect a lot of some kind of lower prices. Maybe not 1K or something like that. I don't. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just me thinking, okay, for what that counts. But I expect a little lower prices. We need the difficulty to drop a little bit more. We need these altcoins to bleed a little bit more. We need the people to tell that cryptocurrencies are dead, because there is a lot of, and still, I'm talking still, there is a lot of people who bought cryptocurrencies because they wanted to get rich. I'm talking a lot of people, and they're still in this industry. We need to get rid of those guys. Okay, we need to get rid of those guys. We need lower prices, a little bit more lower prices, so we can clean the ecosystem, and then we can start going up again. But
let's talk about altcoin speculation. I want to hear, Murad, what is your opinion on altcoin speculation?
I mean, I actually, like, I'm not like a Bitcoin ultra maximalist. I think a small handful of altcoins are pretty legitimate. I'm more of a free market guy, and I think like currencies should compete like for dominance in the free market. So I mean, I still think 99% of the creations in the cryptocurrency market are completely worthless and will die. But I like things like Monero and Decred, and obviously Bitcoin. But yeah, I think speculation is fine. I mean, these things are collectibles still. They're yet to become fully stores of value. So speculation is a legitimate use case.
Well, let's see. Will it be a weed out year? Will 2019 be a weird weed out year for some of these altcoins? Because if Bitcoin gets down to $2,500 or $2,400, you got to imagine that in such a scenario that some altcoins are going to be rocked in a serious way.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that a lot of altcoins will essentially like go down like to a total of negative 99 or more percent in 2019. I think, and it's important to note that in the subsequent bull cycle, I think it will be a little bit different from 2017. Instead of everything, like every worthless scam going 100x, I think the returns are going to be concentrated to like more quality assets, because I think there will be more, like a little bit more institutional participation in the coming cycle, which is going to be like doing their research much more intelligently than just exclusively retail of the past.
Yeah, I could foresee too, and I don't think we've had a true altcoin. Well, we had an altcoin bubble, but I think we're going to have an even bigger one. But the top tier ones could be fueled by the institutions. I do still think some of those fifth tier, sixth tier, there's so many people who have yet to join the cryptocurrency world. So many people who won't even know what just happened in 2017 at all, or 2018. So I could see some really bad ones being fueled again. I'm not saying that. And by the way, 2019 is not going to be the year of any altcoin extravaganza, as I was implying. I believe this will be a year that altcoins are there's going to be a lot of pain. But I do think it's all cyclical, and there will be, whether it be 2020 or 2021, we're going to have some wild .com era type of stuff. But it is interesting that you're saying that it might be concentrated on the top tier altcoins, which is a legitimate point. I mean, I could see it, but I just see so many new people who've yet to get into this yet, who will have not heard nothing about 2017, who might just pump up some of these 16, whatever, there's so many altcoins out there. It's ridiculous. But maybe there won't be as many by then. Maybe this will be the true weed out year. Andy, altcoins.
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say that I have 1,000% respect for Maximo, who I've been following through your show for years. I think he's a real benefit to the community and a very smart person. And what I was saying when I got cut off was, yes, part of the hash rate decline is what Francis Pouliot has been talking about for some time, that these are big capital investments. A lot of them were made at the top of the cycle, and they take time to reverse. They put them online, they make the money, they're hoping the price goes up, it doesn't, and eventually they make the decision to take it down. So that's been part of the reason the hash rate has fallen, just like part of the reason that it was rising last year. It was rising when the price was falling, and now it's falling when the price has been it's going back up when the price is flat. It's just it's typical long cycle investments. But obviously something happened in November that changed things. It was a dramatic decline. That's part of it. I can't now make an analysis of exactly what happened. It's just a fact that it's not just a coincidence. And as for altcoins, look, I still believe the same I've always believed about altcoins. Most of them are worthless, like the .coms. Most of them were pump and dumps that were created to capitalize on Bitcoin's success.
But I've said all along that this is going to be a digital age. It's not going to be just Bitcoin. There's going to be many things that do many things, and Bitcoin is the only one that could ever be money because it's the only truly decentralized asset with the first mover advantage and network effects. But there's going to be room for plenty of things to succeed if they find niches that are valuable to investors, and that's all that it comes down to. And that's why the term, the concept of Bitcoin maximalism is distasteful for me, because it's very closed-minded, and it acts like everything out there is like Bcash trying to steal from Bitcoin. As you say, Adam, there's states of the Bitcoin Union and friendly forks and all that kind of stuff. Some are simply just trying to create value, just like a lot of dot-coms try to create value, and most failed. So I believe, for one, that Berodium is one that is creating a niche that will be found to be valuable. I could be wrong, but if not them, then someone else will. But this is not going to be a world where Bitcoin dominates and it's going to be the only cryptocurrency. That's ridiculous. But I don't know what'll happen this year. I have no idea.
All right. We're starting this year off with a lot of energy here on the show today. All right, I got to get out of here pretty soon. It's Shabbat in Israel. I got to go to synagogue. But I want to let's get everybody's conclusion. First of all, Murad, I forgot. Did you have some Ethereum thoughts in one of your threads recently or something like that? I might be a little confused here.
I mean, I recommended people buy Ethereum at $82, which was a pretty good call. But other than that, I think there might be some speculation going into the fork. On the other hand, I think it's a little bit overvalued at the moment. I think we need to see lower prices for Ethereum before I'm ready to call like a market bottom. But I guess we'll see.
When you say the fork, I thought it was a minor fork coming up.
Yeah, they have. I believe they have a Constantinople hard fork coming in late January.
Okay, but that's not going to.
It's going to reduce it's going to reduce inflation by 33%.
Oh, that's right. But that's not a scaling solution here. That's the problem. They're still in this limbo land between. Are they going to go proof of stake?
That's a desperate way to try to keep the price up.
Indeed, they think that a lot of people are speculating that the cutting of the inflation rate by 33% is going to reduce mining selling pressure, and essentially are speculating ahead of that.
Yeah.
All right, we shall see. Do you anticipate do you think they'll ever go proof of stake?
Man, proof of stake has been promised by them since 2014. I've been increasingly skeptical. Even if that ever comes about, it's going to take much longer than people think, because changing your consensus algorithm like midway is like extremely difficult. It's essentially like Ethereum right now is more like a futures contract on their engineers being able to figure out what's going to happen. But I like to say that for Ethereum to win, several consecutive miracles need to happen. A, they need to actually make a series of computer science breakthroughs. B, they need to prove that dApps are actually like needed and useful by the world. And three, they need to become a competitive store of value asset. And all of these things, multiplying 10% by 10% by 10%, you get a very low probability. So it's a very uphill battle. Now, I'm not saying that's not impossible, but it's much more difficult than Bitcoin, which is like exclusively focusing on trying to be a very robust, secure digital gold.
Yeah, all those things aren't. Yeah, remember the first thing he said is for Ethereum to win, it's not going to win, people. It's not. First of all, to be a legitimate store of value, we still don't know how many Ethereum will ever be created. I mean, there's no cap on the Ethereum yet, or maybe ever. Who knows? It's not. It was never supposed to be a store of value. That's some people are tossing that out. So again, it's not beating Bitcoin. That's what he just said. If you do 10% by 10% by 10%, it's like 0.0001% or whatever. It's never going to do it. All right.
I have a super quick question for you. You have a famous T-shirt which says Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, Decred. How would you rank those four for yourself in your own head?
Oh well, first of all, is it okay? Yeah, this right here. So it's by Cryptograffiti. Obviously, Bitcoin. Come on, these ones shouldn't even be in the same. They shouldn't be on the same shirt. It's just a cool looking shirt. That's why I wear it. But no, Bitcoin is the best one. Bitcoin by far. It's in a whole new league. Okay, so then the next question is, how do I rank the other three? And again, I believe they're all top tier altcoins. They're all different. And I got to go, this is an interesting question. I believe privacy is going to be so important soon, very soon. I believe Monero has a use case. From what I've heard, it's truly private. So I got to rank Monero above above Litecoin and Decred. Then Litecoin, then Decred. Because I think Decred might be, I mean, there were good people that put it together and everything. It relies on its gimmick, this governance gimmick. But do we really need to worry about governance, though? So, Murad, you asked, what's your ranking of those?
I would say Bitcoin, Decred, Monero, and Litecoin.
Because
I think so. Litecoin is very like it essentially has no differentiation. Like I don't know what it even does. Like it does nothing that Bitcoin can't do. And for an altcoin to even start to compete, you need to do something different, right? Now, on the other hand, I think like if you actually delve deep into these things, I'm not sure whether privacy alone is enough to compete against Bitcoin. Some people think that the base layer should even be private so that we have the sanctity of the monetary policy always available for us to audit and be able to like audit third parties in real time, etc. I really like Decred's adaptability, but I think if there's a lot of challenges and unknowns ahead, and being able to sort of navigate them quickly, I think could one day provide to be very very useful. Also, hybrid proof of work, proof of stake is like super secure. So we will see.
I mean, I like Litecoin. You say there's no difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin. You're right. It's just Bitcoin, but I like Bitcoin so much. I got to have a backup Bitcoin there, and that's not that Bitcoin's going to collapse, but I respect Litecoin for being. They don't try to say they're anything else, but just a compliment to Bitcoin. Just another. It's just Bitcoin. You're absolutely. It's a test. You know, it'll always serve a purpose. People will be able to use it as a test net and everything. Again, you explained your like. I got to learn more about Decred, basically. But it's sticking around at least. I wanted to ask Maximo about your thoughts. Maximo, you've commented about Ethereum before. Do you have any Ethereum thoughts? About are they going to go? This simple question is, I got to get out of here and say, are they going to go proof of stake ever?
I don't know. It's difficult, man. Ethereum has a lot of scaling issues. This fork that is coming is just, like I said, a desperate way to keep the price up. There's no reason for them to. Actually, ETH was meant to be gas for the dApps. Okay. In order for you to send any ERC20 token, you need a little bit portion of ETH so you can send it to another wallet. That's the function of ETH. So there is no logical reason why in the future ETH is going to be worth $1 million, because then the network, in order to send tokens in the network, it would be so expensive. And why would anyone want to spend ETH if it's going up in price in order to send another token? So it was never meant to be money, you know. It was meant to be the gas for a platform that everyone is going to build dApps on top of that. But the adoption of the dApps is also a lot of problem. Try to teach my mother or my grandmother or even my girlfriend to use Ethereum and to use Civic to verify your identity. It's just not scalable, man. They have a lot of issues with that. And also, man, like Murad said, they have been promising proof of stake since 2014. We should have proof of stake. We should have it in 2016, and here we are, 2019, and it's not even close to being implemented. So I don't know, man.
First of all, I gotta say, pound that like button for that shot he took at Civic. Did anybody notice that there? And he got a little jab in there at Civic. Wow, maybe Vinny Lingham should come in here as a secret guest next time. All right, Andy, I got to get out of here real soon. What are you? I mean, you got to say something about Ethereum at least. But give us your conclusionary remarks.
Right. Well, I'll say about Ethereum that I've been in this for a long time, and I still don't understand what's so great about Ethereum and why it's worth as much as it is. And maybe they can prove to us that they're doing something unique. I still haven't seen it. I'm not a technical guy, but as an investor guy, I just don't get it, especially when they have so many competitors out there that are all trying to do the same thing. And my conclusionary thoughts, as you say, which we confirmed is a word, is that Bitcoin's not going away. It's very much out of favor right now. Breaking that, let's call it Hoffman line, was a big deal because institutional money is not coming back in until it breaks back above that line. So it's either going to have a long, drawn-out bear market or something is going to catalyze people to come back in. I just don't know what it is, but I do know that Bitcoin's not going away.
All right, Murad, your conclusionary thoughts here. Anything that was left out you wanted to say? Any big stories? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the invite. I think that this bear market, and especially the next big all-time high, is going to take out much more than people think. A lot of people are throwing out like numbers like 2021 or whatever. I think that cycles are getting longer, and I think both this bear market and the subsequent bull market is going to take some time to play out. I don't expect a major next all-time high until 2023.
Whoa, 2023?
Yeah.
I've looked at your. You haven't stated that clearly yet in your charts, have you?
I've been tweeting that for months.
I thought you predicted you predicted a return to around 2021, and then in 2023 it'd be like super high or something like that.
No. Sorry, I meant like the next blow off top is going to be 2023.
Okay, good. It's like, okay, so let's clarify this. When do you think Bitcoin will return to its previous all-time high?
2020.
Okay, there we go. See, that's what I got from your chart. You see, I've been paying attention, and I was like, wait a second, this is new. This is new. And so you were also implying that you think this bear market that we're in is going to create a lot more weak hands. We're going to see a lot of people drop out.
Yeah, but I think depending on the fashion that it happens, I think it's good because we want the short-termist, speculative, impatient hands. We want their coins to be transferred to like long-term believers.
Heck yeah, to the strong hands. Okay, Murad is linked to below, guys. These charts that his Twitter feed is very good. It's a very good Twitter feed. Check it out. Andy will be linked to. Everybody knows Andy, but I'm going to link to him below because right now I still have Adam linked to below. And of course, I've got Maximo linked to below too. Maximo, you have the final word. You were here for the beginning. You're here at the end. Thank you so much for being on. You wanted to have some final words here, Maximo.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoy every time on your show. And one last word. I don't consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist. I consider myself a Bitcoin minimalist. And something that Erdogan Broso said is like he liked to call himself a Bitcoin minimalist because when you talk about maximalism, it's something that is forced. No one is forcing me to use Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin minimalist because I only use Bitcoin because it's the more useful cryptocurrency and it's the only cryptocurrency that is really helping people today. So call yourself a Bitcoin minimalist. I agree with there are some altcoins that have some use, like Monero privacy. But by the time Bitcoin will add all of those features, and all those coins will die. So do your own research and become a Bitcoin minimalist. Thank you for having me, Adam.
All right. I thank all three of my guests for coming on today. You guys rock. We had a really wild one. I think people will be talking about this one for a long time. I want to remind everyone that I value my wealth in Bitcoin. People are probably going to say, Adam, your eyes were lighting up when he said a certain number. again, that's human nature. You hear a high number or a low number in terms of fiat, you're like, whoa, it does shock you. But again, I'm just trying to get more and more. I value my wealth in Bitcoin, and I want to remind everyone to value their wealth in Bitcoin, because if you do get emotional into the numbers, like Murad was saying, if you get freaked out by Murad making a 2,400 prediction, and it's not necessarily going to happen, you're going to become a weak hand, and that's what you do. That's the end of the day. You want to have more Bitcoin than you did at the end of this year. You want to have more Bitcoin or the same amount of Bitcoin. If you freak out about numbers, you're going to have less Bitcoin. So again, value your wealth in Bitcoin, everybody. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Oh, and that shirt again. Remember, because people are going to say, "Oh, you said something good about Litecoin." This always happens. Bitcoin, it's in a whole nother world. Remember, guys, I had a show. Check out the archives below. I just talked about how people say crypto too much now. Crypto. The Bitcoin people have let people conflate crypto and Bitcoin. Yeah, sure, Bitcoin's a crypto, but it's not just another crypto. It's the one. So like some third tier altcoin is not equivalent to Bitcoin in any way just because it's a crypto. It is just in a whole nother universe, Bitcoin. And so people are like, probably some of you are saying, "Oh, Adam, you Bitcoin maximalist." I'm a Bitcoin firster. That's what I am. And it is in a whole realm by itself. I just want to reiterate that. But that shirt is a cool shirt, though. Anyway, I like how it looks. All right, pound that like button, bang that bell button. Shabbat shalom. Thank you very much. I actually really have to go to synagogue right now. I will see you guys later. Thanks.
Take it
Bye-bye.
easy.